Vincent the ox. Squillante walked, like the ground shook beneath him. 6'3", 240 pounds of muscle, 4 knife scars across his face from childhood, hands big enough to break bone. But the truly terrifying thing wasn't his physical power. It was Vincent's eyes, cold, empty, feeling nothing. September 10th, 1956. Sunday, Wells Restaurant, in the heart of Harlem, 135th Street. A modest place with red leather booths, checkered tablecloths, the smell of fried chicken and collard greens hanging in the air like incense. But everyone who mattered in Harlem came through those doors. Musicians, preachers, numbers runners, politicians, even cops. Because Wells Restaurant was neutral ground. You could have beef with someone on the street. But inside those walls, you respected Bumpy's peace. 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Sunday dinner service. 60 people, maybe more. The scent of fried chicken, collard greens, and cornbread hung heavy. The jukebox in the corner played Billie Holiday. People spoke softly, making weekend plans, thanking God they were safe, in a place where they could be together. Bumpy Johnson sat in his usual corner booth. Back to the wall, clear view of both doors, and the kitchen. Old habit. Never sit with your back to the door. His wife Mayme sat across from him. Elegant, poised, the kind of woman who could silence a room just by walking into it. They'd just returned from Sunday service. Bumpy was eating steak, medium rare, cut with precision. Methodical, controlled, no wasted motion in everything he did. Mayme was telling him something about the week, the house, a neighbor from church, plans, normal things, peaceful things. The door opened. Vincent Squillante walked in first. Grey suit, white shirt, no tie, never needed one. Vincent didn't draw power from style. He drew it from raw force. Behind him came 6 men, all armed. You could see the bulges under their jackets. They weren't trying to hide them. That was the point. The restaurant noticed. Conversations stopped mid-sentence. Forks froze halfway to mouths. Even the jukebox seemed to get quieter, like it knew something bad was about to happen. Vincent walked straight to Bumpy's table. Didn't ask permission, didn't wait to be invited, just walked right up, looking down at Bumpy like he was something stuck to the bottom of his shoe. He didn't say anything, just reached into his inside jacket pocket, pulled out a black and white photograph, and placed it on the table right next to Bumpy's steak plate. Bumpy looked down. Many details of this era were never officially recorded. If stories like this interest you, feel free to subscribe and stay with us. The photograph showed Mayme leaving St. Philip's Church that morning. White dress, purse, walking down the steps. Other congregation members behind her. A normal Sunday morning. But someone had been photographing her. Someone had been following her. Someone had been watching. Vincent finally spoke. His voice wasn't loud. It didn't need to be. The words spoke for themselves. Beautiful wife you got, Bumpy. Goes to church regular. Good woman. Cares about the community. He paused, smiled. Be a shame if something happened on her way home next Sunday. The restaurant went so quiet you could hear the clock on the wall ticking. Mayme's face didn't change. She wasn't afraid. Instead, she stared at Vincent with the kind of cold contempt that could freeze blood. But she said nothing. Speaking was Bumpy's job. Bumpy was still looking at the photograph, motionless, just looking. 5 seconds, 10 seconds. 60 people held their breath. Vincent continued. Now he was speaking to the whole restaurant. He wanted everyone to hear. The Genovese family has shown you respect for 2 years, Bumpy, but that respect has limits. The numbers game is ours, always should have been. You're just the caretaker, and now it's time to retire. He leaned forward. You got 1 week. Turn over every numbers bank in Harlem, every runner, every piece of infrastructure. In exchange, you and your wife live in peace. You refuse. He touched the photograph. I'll be very sorry for you. 60 witnesses, 60 pairs of eyes, all watching to see what Bumpy Johnson would do. Bumpy finally moved. Slowly, he set down his knife, picked up his napkin, dabbed the corners of his mouth. Then he picked up the photograph, carefully, like it was valuable, folded it once, twice, put it in his jacket pocket. Then for the first time, he looked at Vincent. His eyes were calm, too calm. That stillness was more dangerous than most men in motion. He said 5 words, slowly, clearly. The whole restaurant heard them. You just made a mistake. It wasn't a threat. It wasn't anger. Just a fact, like telling someone the weather. Vincent's smile widened. He'd been expecting this. He wanted Bumpy to react, to shout, to draw a weapon. He wanted a reason, but all he got was 5 calm words. That's it, Bumpy. You tell me I made a mistake. Then what? You want war? Because if you go to war, it's not just you who dies. Your wife dies. Your men die. Everyone you think you're protecting dies. The Genovese family can come here with 300 soldiers. How many you got? 20? 30? The math is simple. Bumpy didn't answer. Just looked at Vincent. That look. The look that made men check their life insurance. Vincent stood up. His crew did the same. 6 men. All weight and guns. 1 week, Bumpy. Until next Sunday, either it ends your way, or it ends our way. Vincent turned, walked toward the door. His crew followed. Nobody spoke. Nobody moved. The door swung shut behind them. For 10 seconds, the restaurant stayed frozen. Then whispers started. Slowly, people leaned toward their neighbors. What's he gonna do? Is there gonna be war? Will he surrender Harlem? Bumpy leaned down, picked up his steak knife, and continued eating, like nothing had happened. Mayme looked at him, not worried, just waiting, watching. Bumpy spoke quietly, only loud enough for her to hear. Go home. Stay inside today. Tomorrow I'll tell you when to come out. What are you going to do? What needs to be done? Mayme nodded, stood up, took her purse and walked out. Bumpy watched until the door closed behind her. Then he looked at everyone in the restaurant, still watching quietly. Eat your food, Bumpy said calmly. Show's over. But the show wasn't over. It was just beginning. That night, Bumpy made 3 phone calls. Nobody knew the names. Nobody knew the locations. But by the next morning, things started moving. Vincent Squillante didn't wake up Monday morning. Not Tuesday morning either. By Wednesday morning, his crew started worrying. Thursday, they checked a warehouse in Staten Island. That's where they found Vincent. Alive, unharmed, but scared, really scared. He was sitting in a chair, alone in the warehouse. In front of him were 6 photographs, laid out neatly on the table. First photograph, Vincent's mother leaving her house in the Bronx. Second photograph, Vincent's sister shopping at a grocery store in Queens. Third photograph, Vincent's 16-year-old daughter leaving school. Fourth photograph, his mother inside church during service. Fifth photograph, his sister at a park with her children. Sixth photograph, his daughter laughing with friends at a diner. No note, no message, just the photographs. But the message was crystal clear. Vincent's crew pulled him out of there. He didn't speak a word, stayed silent, the entire car ride. When they got back to Manhattan, to Genovese family headquarters, he only said one thing: "We're pulling out of Harlem." "What?" Vito Genovese himself was in the room. "Why are we pulling out? I gave you a job. Remove Bumpy Johnson. Take Harlem. Why are you here taking back your words?" Vincent put those 6 photographs on the table in front of Vito, because Bumpy Johnson didn't threaten. He demonstrated. We threatened his family. He showed us our families. He followed my mother, my sister, my daughter for a week. Without us knowing, we never saw him. He didn't take them, just photographed them. And now he left these photos to make sure I got the message. What message? If we stay in Harlem, our families die. All of them. Mothers, sisters, children. And we can't stop it, because his eyes are everywhere. We'll never see him coming. We'll just see the bodies. Vito was silent. He looked at the photographs, then at Vincent. How many men does he need to do this? I don't know, but it doesn't matter. It's not an army we can fight. It's a ghost. Everywhere and nowhere. Harlem sees him as their protector. If we attack him, the whole neighborhood turns against us. 400, 500,000 people. Any one of them could be a spy. Any one of them could be a shooter. We can't win this war. The room was silent. Vito Genovese lit a cigar, blew smoke toward the ceiling. Then he picked up the photographs, burned them in the ashtray. Pull out of Harlem. All our men, no numbers banks, no runners, no operations. If Bumpy Johnson wants his kingdom, let him have it. It's costing us more money than we'll ever make. Within 48 hours, every Genovese operation in Harlem shut down. Runners were called back. Numbers banks closed. Enforcers returned to Brooklyn. Vincent Squillante never set foot in Harlem again. A few months later, he moved to Florida. Small place. Outside Miami. Lived a modest life. Didn't work for the Genovese family anymore. Didn't give orders to tough guys anymore. Just disappeared. Years later, in the 1970s, a reporter found Vincent, old, gray-haired, a broken man. The reporter asked, "What really happened that night? How did Bumpy Johnson beat you?" Vincent didn't answer for a long time. Then he said this: "Bumpy didn't beat me. He taught me a lesson. Most men measure power with guns. How many men you got? How many weapons you got? But Bumpy measured power differently. Can you protect what you love? Are you willing to lose it? I wasn't. My mother, my sister, my daughter, I was ready to die for them, but I wasn't ready to watch them die against Bumpy Johnson. He knew that difference, and he beat me without ever touching me." The story became legend in Harlem. People told it for years, passed it to their children, their grandchildren. It became more than just a story. It became a lesson about power, about protection, about what family means. Vincent Squillante came with one photograph and threatened Bumpy's wife. Bumpy Johnson answered with 6 photographs and brought an empire to its knees. No shots fired, no blood spilled, just a message. Crystal clear, undeniable. Harlem wasn't for sale. Never was. Never would be. If you enjoyed this story, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Turn on notifications for future stories and let us know where you're watching from.